Hey y'all, so it's me. Oh, I'm trying to go to sleep and it's not working. It's not working. Um, it's not working. I'll eventually get to sleep, I'm hoping. Um, I have to be honest with you, the falling out I had earlier today is still getting on my nerves. If you research something and you've read about it and read about it and you watched professionals, licensed people educate you, you can learn a lot. And one thing that I've said, is that YouTube is like college in a way. You can learn and learn and learn and learn and learn so much, right? And by reading just materials, that's how you educate yourself so that you have education on many different things, not just, what you went to school for or what field you work in. I mean, we learn if you're smart, you're learning all the time. And when you're learning from professionals, that's a big deal because they're professionals and they're teaching you. That's how I learned when I worked in the medical field. I learned from doctors. Okay? Does that make me a doctor? No. Does that make me smarter when I absorb everything they teach me? Yes. So when we had the discussion earlier, and he didn't want to hear anything negative about that, okay? Didn't want to hear nothing bad about that, which is asinine. And he made the comment, well, do you have a medical degree? I could have been a hateful bitch, and I could have easily said, and thank God I didn't, because I can be real nasty. You want to test me? Let's go. I could have easily said, well, when your wife died, how do you know she's dead? Do you have a degree in mortuary science? Are you a funeral director? Did you go to school for it? Are you licensed? Because if you're not, you don't know that she's dead. Do you see how fucking stupid that sounds? And how disrespectful that sounds? You observe the person's body there. They're not fucking responding. They're not breathing. You don't have to have a degree in mortuary science or be a physician or whatever to know that the person is no longer with us. Okay? So to question somebody's knowledge and their credentials is a fucked up thing to do. Okay? I mean, we could do that with anything. You're talking to your friend on the phone and she says, little Johnny caught his finger in the door and it's hanging by a thread. Well, are you a doctor? If you're not a doctor, you don't know for sure what's going on with his thumb. Now, do you? I mean, we could sound so damn dumb and we could question everybody's idea about anything or anybody's experience. We could question them all day and every day. When I fractured my fucking leg, I assure you, I promise you, I didn't have to be a motherfucking bone doctor to know that I broke my goddamn leg. I didn't have to be a fucking doctor. I heard it break. Fuck. And then when somebody wants to punch you in the face, you have no idea why. And I think he could benefit from a punch in the face because it might actually jolt his brain and get it to start working. Quit laughing, it's not funny. I mean, why would you question someone's knowledge on something? You want to live in a motherfucking bubble because certain entities told you to live in that bubble and you're more than happy to obey. It's fucking stupid. He'd be perfect for being in a cult. Perfect for that. Because he would believe everything they told him. And he would believe all the empty promises he was told. A lot of people are like that. And the person told me he had a lot of problems when he was married. And I don't like confrontation. I see why him and his wife did not get along. You're an asshole. And your brain and your head is hard like a block of titanium. Of course you didn't get along with your wife. Duh. Fucking idiot. So he might have lost two friends that day because the other young lady who's a friend of ours, she witnessed it. So she was really pissed. She was more pissed than she let on. But she told another mutual friend of ours that she was really angry. Just to give you an eye inside the mind of this fool, how his brain works, we're going to peek inside his little fucking empty head, okay? His daughter has lupus. Or no, I'm sorry. Let me correct that. She has Lyme disease. And there's no cure. They've been to specialists. He took her to specialists in New York. There isn't anything that can be done about it. I mean, you've got it, and that's, I don't know why we can't get rid of it, but for some reason we can't. She had Lyme disease. She experienced kind of like almost like a mild psychosis in a way, because she started talking real crazy, and what she was saying didn't make any sense. And it was because the Lyme was affecting her brain and she wasn't thinking right. And so they took her to he took her to counselors and doctors and that kind of thing. She's extremely smart, but I don't know if she's had a decline in her cognitive abilities or if she lost her confidence. She's super smart. She's multilingual and she has multiple degrees. But the Lyme affects your whole body, brain included. And she doesn't have confidence to work in her field anymore. Now, he's up in age. And ever since I've known him, he was pushing for her to go back to work because she's on disability, okay? And you're not rich on disability. You're not. You're just not. And so he was pushing for her to go back to work. If something happens to me, she needs to be able to make her own money. I was thinking this today and the other day. Instead of trying to force her, because he was trying to push her to go back to work, you cannot make somebody do something that they don't feel prepared to do, or they're scared to do, or they don't want to end up getting fired because they feel like because of this illness, they've lost cognitive ability or they lost their confidence or whatever. You can't force them to get past that and get over it. So what he should have done or should do is, if you're that worried about something happening to her, because he's in his 70s, but doesn't know, he hasn't learned anything in 70-something years. He's still a stubborn mule. Anyway, God, I can't stand people like that. Anyway, what he should do is get a life insurance policy so that when something happens to him, she's financially covered. If you're that worried about her finances, instead of trying to shove her into work, why don't you go a different route, get $1 million policy or whatever amount you feel could sustain her from now until, make her the beneficiary, and that's it. Does he think like that? No. It could be because he's thinking, well, I ain't leaving her my money. She gonna have to figure it out. Because he's so fucking stupid and so stubborn that he has tunnel vision. It's gonna be this way and this way only. Get her a life insurance policy, dumbass. Make her the beneficiary. You can't force her to go back to work. And I corrected his ass last year when he said, she's getting a handout for the government. No, she's not. No, she's not. No, she is not. No, she's not. She paid into that. Every time she got paid from her jobs, okay? Every time she got paid, I'm sorry if I'm wobbling you. Every time she got paid, part of that money went back to the government. So if anything ever happened to her and she needed that, she's covered. This ain't no free handout. That gets taken out of your check. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with him. His thought process is really bizarre. That ain't free money, dumbass. Still talks about it to this day. She should go to work. She should go to work. She don't feel capable of going back to work. And I also made it crystal clear that if she were to lose this money, because she's not going to get disability and get a check, if she loses that money, she may not get it again if she tried to work and could not work, and her brain just completely failed, or her confidence went kaput and she couldn't stay at her job. She probably won't get disability again because they're going to be looking at it like, well, if you can't go to work, why'd you go to work? So obviously you need to stay at work. Well, I can't because I had problems. Well, you had disability before. You should have stayed on it. They may refuse her to get it again. That's the downside of trying to force yourself to go back to work if you feel like you're cognitively not able to for whatever reason, for this illness or whatever, confidence level gone or whatever the case is. If she loses disability, she probably won't get it again. But in his mind, this is how it has to be. No one needs to deviate from what I think in my head. Now, he witnessed her losing her mind temporarily. He witnessed that. But he acts like, yeah, besides the point. That's not besides the point, fool. So that's the type of person that we're dealing with. Somebody who's once something's in here, it don't get out. And there's no open-mindedness. There's no, I told you, these are the most difficult people to deal with in your life. People who have no ability to say, you know what, I never thought of it that way. Or, that's interesting, I'm going to research that because, I don't know, that sounds a little odd to me, but I'm going to research it. Open-minded, intellectual people have no problem saying, you know what, I want to learn more about that. That's interesting. I never even heard of that aspect of it. Okay, yeah. Can you recommend me a good place to research that or whatever? Fucking idiot. When you think you have all the answers, you shouldn't be that dumb and advertise how dumb you are. You should fake it till you make it. I don't know, it just kind of sit wrong with me. As a disabled person, it sit kind of sideways to me that he said, well, she needs to go back to work. You don't get a free handout. You shouldn't be given a free handout from the government. I don't know who told you it's free, but you done lost your mind up in here. Ain't nothing free, sir. Ugh. Oh my God. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and try to go back to bed, but my brain is just in overtime. It's working in overtime. But anyway, y'all take care, and I hope you're sleeping, cause... Anyway, y'all take care. Much love, and talk to you later. Bye.